Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the OSR Tabletop live stream with myself, Richard Bloodworth Salati, and as you can see, I am going to be talking about the topic of the OSR and indie games that I think you should be running or at least try to play, and this is, I'm going to do basically my top five. I'm going to give the reasoning for each, but I certainly welcome you to come into chat and to talk about your favorites or the ones that you think I should also take a look at in case I don't already have it, and also if you want to list your own personal top five as well. Overall, what I'm looking to do here is I'm looking to show in a more positive way the games that I think that we all should be taking a look at, and and then once again, rather than talking about games that you shouldn't be looking at, I'd rather be more positive and say these are the games that you should definitely give yourself the opportunity to at least play in one, um, if you come across that possibility. I certainly would recommend them. So let's go to the very first one, and these initially I wasn't putting in any particular order, and then I did start to put them in an order where I'm going to differentiate between what I play at home on a regular basis and is my kind of go-to, and then which ones I've run at conventions, which ones I'm looking to running at home as well, and then finally, there is one on the list that unfortunately is out of print, and but I still put it on these because if you have any chance of getting a hold of that particular game, then I highly recommend that you try to get a hold of it, even if you just find it in its quick start free PDF someplace online. Snatch it up while you can, because it's an excellent system, despite the fact that it's out of print, and you'll see which one I'm talking about when I get there. So I see we have several viewers as well. So as always, you are welcome to join in the conversation. And again, you can comment on what your uh, favorite or even top five are as well. So I'm going to put that invite link in there. And of course, you are welcome to jump in, and let's get started here. So basically, I am going to be talking about the top five suggested OSR indie TTRPGs you should play or run. And let's get right to my very first one. And I gave each of these that you'll see in the tagline. I gave each of these kind of my shortest descriptive of what each of them are. So here we go. Excuse me. All right. So Castles and Crusades. So Castles and Crusades, if you've been following my channel at all, you know that I am a huge fan of this game system and of the core mechanic of this game system, which is known as the siege system or siege mechanic. And it's an attribute-based system where you designate up to 3 different attributes of the 6 that are normally found in Dungeons and Dragons, and you will list up to 3 of them as your primary, which means that you only need to roll a 12 or better in order to be successful using any skill that would potentially fall within that particular attribute. And then all others, the other 3 and their corresponding skills or even saving throws, you would need to roll an 18 or better on a d20, and you modify all of these rolls by your level. So you will add typically one per level into your roll, and so as you become higher level, you of course become much more proficient and successful in making your rolls, even for those attribute scores that are not your primaries, where you need to roll a minimum of an 18. They become progressively much easier to accomplish when you start approaching levels like 8 and above. Now, the combat system works very similar, other than the fact that it has class-based basic to hit scores or bonuses modifiers that you would add. Fighters add one for every level, and the other classes one every 2 or every 3, and so on. Every 4th level, they would gain a +1 to hit. Oh, excuse me. I'm struggling a little bit more than I thought I would be. I've been really good all day. So anyway, now Trollord Games is currently kickstarting their newest remanufacture of these reprintings of these core rule books, basically removing the OGL out of them and removing all possible connections to anything that was from the former OGL 1.0A, and they're going with their own, or at least a different creative license type meshing together, so that no ties whatsoever to anything that is Wizards of the Coast. They're also changing up a few things, and as always, anytime that they do a new printing, they add some more content. I believe they're removing some content, especially from the Monster Manual, because they're going to create a supplemental that will put some of those creatures into that instead. So so I haven't really touched bases with the people at Troll Lords as far as doing like an interview or anything like that with them for really quite some time. It was before this was actually even being mentioned. So but I will in some time before the end of the Kickstarter. I'd like to reach out to at least someone from Troll Lord Games to come on the channel and to fully talk about where they're going with this, and in particular how open they are for some suggestions, because I haven't seen the initial layout of the player's handbook. I know some people have gotten the like a preview copy of it, and so even though I signed up for it, for some reason I haven't figured out how to actually get that preview copy of it. So I'm waiting to take a look at it. But I hear that there was some questions about the new formatting, and we'll see how open they are to suggestions while they're still in that process of doing the remastered version of Castles and Crusades. So really looking forward to seeing the what they come out with, the new remastered version of it, as well as how functional it is in relation to the previous printings, so that you might just need to pick up the PDFs of it rather than whole new books. But if you don't have the series and hardcover already, then I would certainly recommend you pick those up as soon as they're available, or hit that Kickstarter and put in the order for them now. So that's my first along the that's my first pick. This is my primary game that I play in my home game. This is a game system that I absolutely love, and to be honest with you, this is my replacement for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition. So this is a rules light to moderate. It falls somewhere in there. It really depends on how much of the supplements you want to bring into the system. And then it is certainly heavily influenced by AD&D First Edition. All right, we have our first comment, and you reviewed it some last week. Yeah, Mirador is one of my players, actually in my Castles and Crusades campaign, and I backed it, and I put in for the mailing list, but I did not get any kind of a link for the. I didn't get any kind of a link for it, so I'm wondering to see, maybe I just didn't look in the right place or whatever. But yeah, if you can share it with me, that would be great too, because I'd like to take a look at it and see if they don't get back to me. I think you had to sign the waiting list maybe more than 2 days prior to the actual launch of it, and I think I might have just did 1 day prior to, so maybe that's why I didn't receive it or not. But yeah, when I clicked on it, I definitely saw that it was still at least advertised, and yet I never got an email giving me the link. So, but I'll definitely touch bases with you, and hopefully I can get a good look at it, and then I can start talking about it and just kind of reviewing it myself. It was emailed me to link, and I downloaded it. Yeah, I didn't get an emailed link. Yeah, I did not get an emailed link from them, so maybe I either missed that window. I'm certainly going to ask for them to send me the email link so I can check it out myself. But definitely check it out. All right. So let's see what else we have here. So I am going to move on to the next. So again, Castles and Crusades, my primary game system that I run at home. And I have not run this at a convention. And even though I think it would function just as well at a convention, I haven't really thought of this as a great one-shot system, and that's just my own personal feeling of it. I would like to have much more time than just a 3 to 4 hour time slot to run Castles and Crusades. And I mean, I'm sure you can craft an adventure that will certainly utilize that time slot better. When I play this or when I run this, I really do have that mindset of long campaign kind of feel for this. So that's the first one on my list. Following up that, and this is kind of my second pick, is Shadow Dark. Now, this I've only run it in convention play, so it's kind of the opposite of Castles and Crusades, but I am looking to set up a home game for Shadow Dark as well. And so this is basic rules. It is advertised as old school fantasy with modern mechanics, and that is absolutely true. It has that old school feel to it. I've run this at a recent convention just this past weekend, and that was the one thing that my players had said was, wow, this really did feel like an old school game. And then in the previous convention that I ran Shadow Dark in, that was precisely what they said as well. Both the adventure and the game system, they said that it was, truly a classic dungeon crawl type of experience. They really, really enjoyed it, and you will not go wrong trying to either play this or pick up a copy and run it. You will have a blast with it. It is by far the best of the new systems that I've seen come out since 2023. So this thing is just phenomenal. You're going to love it to run it. There's a lot of third-party support right now, and an Arcane Library, Kelsey Dion is already working on some additional Cursed Scrolls, which are kind of like the accompanying magazine type or zine type product that comes out with it, with adventures, new classes, and just a whole bunch of really cool stuff packed into it as well. I believe the new one coming out is zine number 4, and we'll see what kind of theme they have, because each one has their own themes as well. So highly recommend this system. So much third-party stuff coming out for it, and it's, as a matter of fact, I am converting an adventure that I had written for another game system, which I'm bringing up in my list here, to Shadow Dark, so that I can, eventually publish it and start running my own adventure for Shadow Dark at conventions moving forward. So Shadow Dark is another one. It's high up on my list, like my number 2 game system that I'm really enjoying, both to run it and to play it. And you should definitely give it a look if you haven't done so already. Moving on, and I'm waiting for any other comments to come in. The link is there if you want to join in the chat and put some of your own in as well. And the next one coming up is Conan 2D20. So unfortunately, this is not in print anymore. Modifius lost its license for it. The license is now held by Heroic Signatures. Wait to see what they do with it. If they're going to, I don't know if they bought the game system when they gained the rights, or if that's something that they intend to do. It would be great if they did, and then they could start producing for this, or at least start, reprinting these here. They are currently, you can find some of the rule books on eBay, but the supplements are about $40-50, but the core rule books are over $100. So the core rule books, which are very hard to find, are over $100, and it is an absolutely phenomenal system. It's a moderate rules complexity. It is low fantasy. It is perfect for one-on-one, which means one game master and one player. And again, it's out of print. This is such a great convention game system. So much fun, very dynamic, very cinematic. You trim down some of the rules, make it a little bit more rules light, and you could use the starter or the quick start rules for running at a convention play. And with the number of characters that you can find that are pre-generated characters, and or you could have them roll up characters at the table as well. The online character builder is still available, and this is heavily supported on Fantasy Grounds, and so you can still run this on Fantasy Grounds, and you'll see the Fantasy Grounds affiliate link below. A little pitch for my own affiliate. So they do have this whole system on Fantasy Grounds that you can get access to all of the rule books, as well as some other additional resources, and run this from Fantasy Grounds as well. So if you can't manage to find hard copies of this just yet, because they just lost the license fairly late in 2023, so it may take a little bit while for more of these to find their way onto the secondary market, but definitely pick it up if you can. Definitely take an opportunity to play in this at a convention. If you see somebody running it, you will again have a blast with this. Let me check the comments. Okay, thank you very much. I'll definitely double check that and see. And like I said, I'm gonna try to find out why I didn't get it, because I'd like for it to be on my well, it doesn't matter, I'll transfer it over, but I'd like to have it in my drive-through RPG as well. The next game system coming up is one that's not out of print, and it's actually getting some additional support currently in Kickstarter, and that is Blade Runner RPG from Free League. And here you have it. This is the hardcover book. Although when I run this at a convention, I use the starter set, and there are currently 3 case files. Although the 3rd case file is still currently in Kickstarter, and I wouldn't expect for that to come out until 2025. I initially backed it, and then I withdrew that backing. I'll be perfectly honest with you, not because I am, it's not a great product and everything. It's just that I haven't even run the 2nd case file yet. And so to pick up the 3rd one at this time, I want to see how much legs this game system will still continue to have leading through 2025. Because like I said, I've only run case file number 1. I've run it about 4 times now at conventions. Every single time I've run it, both I and the players have had a great time with it. It is, influenced by the Savage Worlds game mechanics, and this is, there's as much action and investigation and combat in this game system. A good combination of all of them that you can actually go through case file 1 with virtually no combat whatsoever and still accomplish the story of the case. And the one time I ran it, the most that the players got involved with was a fist fight. Another time they played it, they got into a blazing gunfight in which one of the characters was killed. One of the player characters was killed. So, a nice mix of both, or of all 3 types of play. So if you're into, investigations, it's there. If you're into combat, it's there. If you're into, high-speed chases and that kind of thing, it's likewise there as well. So really great system to check out. And you will see this at conventions. And they're continuously supporting this game system, which is really, really good to see. Excuse me. Last but not least, so I will move on to the next, and this will round out my my top 5, and that's this is now Gangbusters BX. So as you can see, this is written by Mark A. Hunt, and I know he was working on an advanced version of this, and I have to reach out to him to see if that is ready yet. But this is basic rules. It is a police gangland action RPG based on Gangbusters, TSR's Gangbusters, and with a D&D BX rule set. So much more accessible rule set than the original Gangbusters, even though that wasn't very complicated. And it's a lot of fun. Now, this is the one that I've played or run the most at conventions, and it's another big seller. I wrote an adventure for this, which is on my drive-through RPG page, which you'll see there in the bottom link. And the adventure is called Whiskey Creek Runs Red, and it is a Prohibition era. It's a Prohibition era adventure set in New York City in 1923. Again, very, very well received adventure. One of my better selling adventures on on drive-through RPG, and I'm certainly looking to. I'm really waiting for the advanced rules to come out, before I continue writing some more adventures for this system. But it's certainly something that I'm looking to do sometime in 2025. So really excited about continuing running this. I know I'm running this game and the Conan 2D20 in September at ShireCon, and then I'll see what exactly I'm running at the Philadelphia Game Expo. I believe Shadow Dark, probably Gangbusters, and maybe it was Conan 2D20. I'm not quite sure what are the three. I have to double check to see which ones I'm actually running when I get there. Or when we get closer, I should say. So so those are my top 5. All right, and I will, briefly go back over each of them. So it is Castles and Crusades. This is my primary home game. Something I haven't run at a convention yet, but maybe at some point I will. And then that is followed by Shadow Dark, which is by far, I think, the best game to have been released in 2023 and 2024. I mean, it really came out the last day of December, on 2023. That's when I got my hardcover. So this is certainly a game system that is going to explode on the convention scene. I know it had a great showing at North Texas, the North Texas Gaming Convention just this past weekend, and it's already projected to make a big showing at the Philadelphia Area Game Expo. And again, I'm certainly running it there as well. So I'm looking to see if I already know it has quite a lot of sessions already being run there. I'll see if it's even larger by the time we get a little bit closer. Conan 2D20 is my 3rd in the list. Absolutely phenomenal system. Unfortunately, it's out of print. But again, if you can find PDF copies of the free early start game rules, that's really all you need in order to fully understand the system and to run this game. Very easy to make your own adventures as well. I would recommend picking up the Game Master's Toolkit, which you can find online. I saw it on eBay for like $1. So if you can get that, grab your hands on that as well, because that gives you all the tools you need to make adventures. And you would be fine with that. The adventure that I wrote for Conan 2D20 was written with those starter rules. It did not use the core rule books. I wrote those starter, that adventure back in 2017, which was before the hardcovers were even fulfilled and started making their way to our homes. Blade Runner RPG, again, something that is still continued to be getting support from Free League. And so at least for the next year or more, you will see Blade Runner continue to receive that support, continue to see some gameplay at conventions. And so I highly recommend that you check that out. And then finally, Gangbusters BX. Such an easy system, such a great system to play and run. And I look forward to seeing how Mark Hunt expands upon that with his with his advanced rules of Gangbusters BX. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that, and looking forward to writing the next adventure for it. Maybe I'll write something from the gangland perspective of it. So maybe setting up an organized crime crew will be the start of a series of adventures that I'd have the player characters begin to put together. So definitely looking forward to that as well. So so that's pretty much it. Um, I wanted to do this fairly short live stream. Just trying to test out how I can handle with my current issues with asthma and everything. Just trying to get through doing some of these things. And like I said, I was great all day long, and now half hour in, I'm struggling a little bit. So I'm going to wrap this up. But thanks for joining. Those of you that are watching, I know that some live streams are going to kick off probably around 8 o'clock as well. So I don't want to step too much on anyone else's toes. But if you feel like jotting in, like once this goes live on YouTube, if you want to drop in any of your picks for your top five, and then perhaps we can, I'll set up another live stream later on next week, and we can go over and talk about those specific ones. Like if I get a whole bunch of people say, hey, this is my game system of choice, and then maybe we can come together and talk about that game system of choice. Only five here. Well, that's the only five that I'm talking about today, Cal. So if you want to bring up even more, feel free to do so. And, we will certainly see which one is the most common. Maybe I'll put up like a poll on my community tab on YouTube. And if a whole bunch of people say, hey, this is the game I want to discuss, and then we'll set that up sometime either next week or the following week, and focus in on that game. Maybe get a whole panel of people together so that we can all chat about that particular game. And length of time, only five here. Length of time. Oh, I'm not sure what that means. Meant the time. Oh, only five here. Yes, 5 o'clock there. I see. Well, that's not bad. So we're about 3 hours, 3 hours different in time zone. Yeah, so I am going to be wrapping this up. Thanks for those of you that popped in. I know this was kind of impromptu. I only gave about a 3.5 hour notice that this was going up. If you didn't get the notification for this, double check and see. Sometimes those alert bells, they reset to nothing, and you have to reset them once in a while. If you hadn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Again, look down in the links below, and you will see my Fantasy Grounds affiliate link if you want to check out some Conan 2D20 stuff, and you will see my drive-through RPG link, which again goes to my Gangbusters adventure, as well as I have some other stuff there for Mifrog and a couple other things. There's like an OSR safety tools, the safety tools of the OSR tabletop, which was initially meant to be kind of like tongue in cheek, but then I got kind of serious with it, and that's free. So definitely check that thing out. So you'll see where I kind of come from as far as game is concerned, and what I consider to be the OSR safety tools that were kind of like the rules we had back in the day without actually calling them that. And so you'll see where I'm coming from with that, and kind of my perspective on the OSR safety tools. Maybe I'll do a whole live stream just talking about those as well, and invite people to come in and comment on that. And again, that's free. So you can go there onto Drive-Thru RPG and pick yourself up a copy of that and go through it, and then come back to me and discuss it. So you all have a great evening. Enjoy your upcoming weekend. I will be doing some videos over the weekend. I will probably get back to covering Deadlands. So I'll start going into the rule system of Deadlands, and then get back to some other game systems that I have not I haven't gotten back to just yet. So been looking to do quite a bit over these last couple of weeks, and got kind of delayed a little bit with not feeling at my greatest, and so I will try to get back to some of that beginning this weekend and get caught up in essence. So let's see. And oh yes, and happy Father's Day. Thank you very much. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. So enjoy your Sunday. I will probably jump on sometime Sunday as well. It is also the U.S. Army's birthday today. So I would be remiss without, saying happy birthday to all of my fellow, Army brothers and sisters out there, whether you're active duty, reserve, National Guard, or veterans. And, enjoy this day as well. I'm sipping coffee now, so I would normally raise a shot or a beer up to you, but I'll raise a cup of coffee to you instead. So so happy Father's Day to everyone. Happy U.S. Army birthday to everyone, and you all have a great weekend. So you all take care. And someone was just gifted. You know what? I could also do that. I'm saving up the last 5 of my free memberships I'm giving out the last 5 free memberships once my channel gets to 3,333, which is actually less than 10 subs away. So spread the word. Let them, let your friends know about this channel, and, ask them to subscribe as well. If you're passing through and you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing. And like I said, I'm going to do another live stream at 3,333. I'll give out 5 more memberships, and then we will get to the next milestone for the channel, which will be 3,500. At which case I will be giving away some. RPG products that I have, some books that I have duplicates of, or some game systems that no longer hold a place on my bookshelf any longer, and I will get it moving along. Everyone's going to have a different experience in the military. Mine was much easier than, let's say, my father's, or certainly probably your father's during Korea. Mine was during Desert Storm, and it was not that not that difficult, at least for me, other than being a heat casualty, in Saudi Arabia, or the Saudi Arabia-Iraq border where I was at, and that was my biggest challenge, and in no way near comparison to what my father did, fighting in World War II, and fighting across France and then into Germany, and all of the major battles of what was known as the Rhineland campaign, which was the campaign ribbon that he had earned, along with a Purple Heart, which he also had earned, if you want to call it that, for his actions there as well. So, but like I said, everyone had a different experience, and some positive, some negative. And I was fortunate enough to have a very, very positive, very positive experience in the U.S. Army. So you all have a great one. Have a great weekend again. And I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen or at a gaming table at a convention sometime soon. You all take care.